As the rate of the crime increases, the number of people who are involved also increases. On the other hand, children being part of it cannot be overlooked. During the year 1995 to 2000, over 50,000 children have been arrested. Roughly 28 children get arrested every day, and more than 1 children per hour. For the year 2018, a rate of 1.7% of children or minor are involved in crimes. On the contrary, the government are taking action to stop or at least minimize the involvement of these children to being used by the syndicate. The House Justice Panel approved a bill seeking to bring down the age of criminal responsibility from the current 15 to 9 years old. The children would be under rehabilitation in Bahay Pag-asa, but they would dealt with it while undergoing a process similar to a criminal but would be called in conflict with the law. They would face the police, waiting for the sentence, and get punishment given by the judge. For this matter, I firmly believe that we should not go to that point, for it will only worsen the situation of the children. For them, the process they will undergo if the bill would be implemented would be hard to handle, especially if they do not have the ability to understand things like this. A person at the age of 25 has a brain that's still continually developing. What more if the age we are talking is 9 years old? A child's brain are still at a phase where he or she just observes things that is happening around him or her. Children are still dependent on the decision of the people that is older than them. In science, the brain of a human after toddler years still needs to go through a phase that still needs to go to first the particular part of their brain, which is amygdala, would process the information. In the said part, the emotional and decision-making are still developing. After that, they would develop their frontal cortex, which is responsible for good judgment and awareness of long-term consequences. These are the reasons why we cannot blame those children that are engaged to crimes in doing things that are wrong. They still need to go to different paces to have an independent judgment. If we would let these children face punishment and consequence, we would inflict negative impact on children's early development, which would later on affect them in the long run. Parents and children's environment are the things that contribute to a child's development. If he or she is not properly guided by their parents, which are the primary people they depend on, it will result to a child depending on his or her environment. Children would mimic their surroundings even if it is wrong or bad. In this kind of scenario, the blame should not be put on children's shoulder. Instead, it should be on their parents or guardians. It is a parent's obligation to teach their children what is good from bad. It is also their responsibility to check on what their children are doing. I believe that those children just need the proper guidance to ensure that they would not exhibit wrong behavior. I understand the good intention of implementing this bill. The increasing rate of children involved in serious crimes because of being used by the syndicates to carry out criminal acts may be overwhelming, but they can get away by using the present law, which is our Republic Act 9344. I know that the government want to stop these things to happen, but I do not think that this is the solution we are looking for. Syndicates will not deter from accusing children to commit crimes. They will just look for another children and go on with the plan. It will only be just the same, except for one, the life of those children. Lowering the age of criminal responsibility is not the situation that we need. What we need is to give a severe punishment to those of legal age who use children to do these inappropriate things. To give knowledge to the guardian on how to implement the to give knowledge to the guardian on how to give knowledge okay to give knowledge to the guardian on how to guide them properly and to follow the implemented RA 9344. Just like what is stated in it, we have a say in this. We can still fight for the future of these children who would sooner build our nations. So fight for these children who still doesn't have a voice to voice out their own. Again, this is Janelle Crista R. Cruz, your speaker for today.